It's Marie from Skeletorama again. Welcome back to my channel. So I think you guys might remember these if you watch me put the painted lady house together. These are the templates that I made for all the different pieces of it to do the wallpaper, and they've been like staring at me from over there on the other side of my desk in a very accusatory fashion, saying that I was procrastinating putting wallpaper on things, and they were right. I was. So I thought, you know what, it's high time maybe we did a little bit of wallpaper, just a little bit of wallpapering. So this is actually going to be the tower unit here. So I have not glued it onto the house, and I probably won't, just so, you know, if I ever go to move it, I can just take it off. It'll be easier. And I can get into the other room if I need to do anything to it. And it sits up there just fine. But I can also bring it to my desk to do any finishes and things on it. So this is going to be, I don't know what yet. It's part of the attic secret room kind of area. So I'm sure I'll have stuff like that in there. I don't know, we can figure it out. But what I'm going to do today is we're going to put wallpaper in here and do the flooring, because that's, oops, as things are falling from my desk. Here, let's put you there. So it's just the wallpaper and the flooring, and then that's all this room needs. I'm not going to do baseboards because these walls come in at an angle for starters, and I'm just not up for that. I'm sure I could figure it out. I don't want to, really. Honestly, it's not going to need it. You're not going to really see it because it's more of an attic storage area. And so I think that's what we'll do today. So with these, I did forget to make templates for them. So I did make some later, which are here. So I've got 2 templates for it. Get these ones out of the way here. See, I just want to be able to throw them away. That's what I want. It's triggering my OCD to get them the hell out of my life. So anyway, basically what I did was, for this one here, I just took this measurement here on this, because that is, you know, the same as what would be here if we close it in completely. So I know the width of that is going to match the width of this opening here, right? And then I measured what this was from the outside, and then I know that it's going to be a triangle shape, right? So I took this point and went up to that point, this point went up to that point. I centered these to make this one. I'm fairly sure that's how I did that. And then this one here, same kind of thing. This is easy enough, is just take the width of that, and it's going to meet in a point at the center. Okay, so if you don't make your templates, you can go back and make them if you need to. Just measure and draw them out. It's still easier to use the templates. So I'm going to sit this over here to the side, and I'm going to show you the wallpaper. Of course, we got my flooring that I just love so much. We'll get to that in a few minutes. But so this wallpaper, scrapbook paper that I'm going to use for wallpaper is by a company called ITD Collection, and it's called Gothic Stories. Now this does have a shine to it, but I think that's okay in the attic room. I don't think that'll be too big of a deal. The other problem is this particular paper collection only comes with 1 sheet per design. So I don't have a way to make all the triangles I need for it, right? I'm going to need 1 of the tower back. I think I did trace the tower side. It was the tower back that I didn't. But anyways, I got the tower back here, and then I'm going to need 4 of this tower side, right? And there's no way to fit them all across. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do one basically upside down like this, and hope no one notices, right? Because in here, those walls to the side, you can see them, but you can't see a ton of them, so it should be fine. And then for these 2 walls up front here, I'm just going to use this paper because it's really close to this color match wise, and I'm going to go this way with it. Oops, not that. I'm going to go this way with it. So I'm going to do, like, say 1 this way. I can do them both going the same way at least. So maybe I'll go this way, and this way with it. And then we'll have those, and we will attach them, and then yeah, we'll have to do the flooring This is our piece with the angle that does match it. So we'll go over that when we get to that part, because we'll get to use this template for just a brief moment in time, or I can show you how to make one for the floor in there, because the way I did for the bay windows. So either way. So first thing I'm going to do with this paper here is I'm going to get my paper trimmer out, and I'm going to cut the white edge off of here, because especially since this is shiny, I don't want to have pencil marks on it or any of that stuff. So I do want to draw the pattern on the back, because the back is more of just like a flat regular paper. Do the same here. I'll get both the top and the bottom. And these, they have like little extra words you can use for stuff. I don't really see me using those, so we'll just chuck that. And do this side. So that way when I put the pattern on there, I've got a nice flat edge for the bottom. I don't have to worry, am I going to get any of this white part, because I just cut it off. All right, so for the back part, I think I want this. So I'm going to flip this over. Actually, you know what? Let me cut these bottom parts off, because I will mess that up and have a white corner. I know I will. And since I don't want to do that, go ahead and take that off too. Okay. There we are. Easy peasy. Get this back out of the way now. All right, so for this one big focal wall that you will see, I want this, I think, as it, right? So I'm going to hold it here so I know where it is, flip it over so I know where to put that. And I'm just going to sit this down. Make sure it's nice and square at the bottom, and I'm just going to trace around it. Am I going to do a great job of it? I doubt it. Paper always likes to flip up on me when I least expect it, you know. Okay, and we're going to have to adjust it anyways. And then this side here, right here, which will become this side here, when I put this paper in, it just needs a little tiny bit more. So we're actually going to go out a little wider of an angle to about like here. It just barely needs maybe a 1/16 of an inch more. Okay, so we've got one of those. Go ahead and do one of our tower sides. We'll bring it all the way over here. So there's that one. We can always trim it if we need to. Now I'm going to flip this over. It's going to put the pattern kind of upside down, but you shouldn't be able to notice that, hopefully, in the finished product. So there's that one. And then I'm going to do the same on this. I'll start it down here at the bottom, and I'll just put these two right next to each other. Over to the side. I'm going to get the paper trimmer out. And this is the easy part. So I'm going to put the wire here. There we go. So that it's just to the left of the pencil line, like kind of on it, slightly to the left, because so move this out of the way here, because I want the pencil line to kind of go away when we cut this, like so. That may have taken it a little too far. Let's hold it up to our pattern and see, shall we? Because it figures I would do that, but I do have one small chance. Let's see. That should be good. Okay, so as opposed to this last time, I'm going to put my pencil line and I'm going to preserve it because I went over too far. so here are the ones that will be going on the inside front. And I think I'll do the center one first because it's kind of hard to get this at the right angle in here. All right, so there's those. I got a bunch of new nifty scraps to do stuff with. All right, so now let's bring this back in here. Okay, and so now we're going to test these. We're going to test this one first because this is our main focal one. I'm going to put this in here. Oh, and it fits. Yay! Now can I get it out? All right, so we're good on this one. Turn it just slightly. I'm gonna do this one here. Place it down in there and see, it fits. Hopefully you can see that. Hopefully the light's getting in there so you can see that. Whee! So it fits. All right, so we're going to extrapolate then that if the other pieces are the same size, put this out of the way, then they'll fit too. Let's just put these together. Oh wow, okay. This one's like way, what the hell happened here? Oh, yeah. So I wasn't even close. Jesus Christ. That's new. What on earth was I cutting? I don't even know. Okay, let's try this the right way, shall we? That's insane. Okay. Now they should all be about the same size. And they are. That's much better. What the hell? When I'm editing this, I'll go back and look and see and go, what were you thinking when you did that? All right, so as we did with all the other stuff that we have the white edges on the paper, we are definitely going to color the edges of these. Okay, so you just take a black Copic marker, regular marker, whichever. Start with your pen to the back. That way if it slips back here. It doesn't slip onto the front. And we want to get all of these edges. You definitely do not want these to be visible because you will really be able to notice it if you leave them. There we go. Now, if there's one thing again, I can always count is my pen will always slip. So see how it slipped right there? If that had been on the front, you would have seen that. But since it's on the back, you don't. All right, so now we're going to apply our wallpaper before we put our flooring down, I think. Okay, so bring the tower unit back in. And we're going to put this one on first, and then we'll do, see, these two are the sides that go here. These two are the sides that go there. So we're going to come around each one. So sit these back here just so I know which ones are which. And I'm going to try to get these so that they match, you know, kind of color-wise, the bottom of that. This one's not going to, but all right. So we are going to use Fabrifix for this, like I do with all of my wallpaper, because it's acetone based. So it's not going to buckle this. I'm not going to get bubbles. I'm not going to get warping. None of that, usually. If you use a very thin paper, you still will. You really can't avoid that. But I think, knowing myself as I do, I'm going to put the Fabrifix on the piece. Because if I put it on here, first thing I do when I go to put it in is I'll smear it this way or something. So we're gonna cut out the middle now. We're going to go ahead and put this on the inside. So you want to have, you know, a nice decent amount on there, especially around the edges. Hopefully you can see that. I may have to, yeah, I'm going to have to put some at the very top of the piece of paper just because the way the angle is, I'm not going to be able to get it up in there. and put most of it on here. Okay, so there it is there. Then we'll do like the top chunk of this. All right. And we've already dry fit it, so we know it fits. I'm just going to take this, place that up there like that, and then wiggle it in. You do have some wiggle room. You don't have, you know, a half hour or anything, but you do have enough to get it in there and get it straight. Okay, I'm just going to press it down really good. Okay, so one piece down, 4 to go. These ones I think I will put on the piece just because it'll be easier for me to kind of wiggle it in there and make sure that these are fitting correctly. Ah, okay. So once you put the piece on the back, of course, you've now added mass to it. So I'm going to need to bring this down just a little bit. Where's my paper trimmer? We'll do it on this side because I know it's this side that's having the issue a little bit. I'm going to take just about 1/16 of an inch off of that. Okay, so that much of a sliver should do it. Let me fit that in there again. Perfect. All right. So since I did that, I need to redo my edge. Which I'm glad I noticed that because usually I forget. And of course, this is the edge that's facing out, so I would have seen it and it would have driven me nuts. You really can't go back in there effectively and do that once it's in. All right, so we're gonna keep this at the ready. We're gonna dry fit all our pieces. Let's get this one in. Okay, just so you can see, here's what happens and how it would look if we don't color that edge black as opposed to how it looks when we do. See how it sinks in? So that's why we color the edge black. Okay, so there we go. Hopefully you can see that. Kind of lean it up this way. It's hard to tell because I don't have my glasses on, so I can't see. I know it's throwing tons of shadows, but we have our wallpaper in our tower. Okay, so the next thing we need to do, we'll let this dry. It dries pretty quickly. You don't have to worry too much about it. It only takes a few minutes. Is we should probably go ahead and make a template for this floor, just in case, because the other one doesn't quite fit it. So I'm going to use this. This is some paper I had in my little waste paper basket over here. Okay, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this paper and I'm going to start putting it along the floor with all the edges, and I'm just going to lay it right over all the other stuff. So make this a little smaller. Smaller. Okay, that's way smaller. That's fine. Okay, and as I get each piece in there where I line it up, okay, I'll go get my tape. I'll be right back. And I have my tape. So what we're going to do is we're going to lay, you know, all these pieces in here. And then as soon as I get it nice and lined up with that corner, I'm going to go ahead and just kind of tack it down with some tape where it is on the other piece. So see, like so. And a little piece of tape so it doesn't shift. And I'm just going to keep going around. So with these edges, I do like to have these nice straight edges from this. So I'm going to take another piece and I'm going to go to this edge here, which is the length it should have been had I not messed it up. Oh, and I think I messed that piece up over there too. All right, so if you find you did that, you can just grab another piece and stick it in there. There we go. I think I moved it when I taped it down. No matter, it's going to be messy, but we're just going to use this to cut the flooring, so. This one I'll try to get right to the edge of this because I do kind of want a piece that goes across so I know where to stop when I'm doing the flooring. Okay, so I know that's the line I want. Let's see if I can keep it long enough to tape it down, shall we? All right, so now we can take this monstrosity out of here. Boom. Is this the prettiest thing you've ever seen? No, it is not. But it just has to work long enough for us to do our flooring on it, right? I'm going to tape this part down a little bit better. And I'm going to take my scissors. I'm going to cut across this line because I know this is the line where the front opening is. So I'll know where to stop with my flooring. I'm going to flip this over so it doesn't look quite as bad. Just grab whatever's handy here. That's the front. Okay, so now we can cut our boards for it. So we've got our board here from the last time, right? And what we're going to do is we're going to cut the pieces of wood like so. This is obviously too short, but we do know that this is the correct angle. I believe that was a 60-degree angle. So what we'll do is we will put this to 60 and 120, and let's see, this should be the same angle as well, right? Yes. You know what, fine. I'll put it this way then. Okay, so if we were to bring this along here, yes. Okay, that's a 60-degree angle. So we know that these angles are going to be 60. It's going to be interesting to see what happens here, but I do know how to deal with it if it goes weird. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go away for a minute. I'm going to take all of these and I'm going to do like I did last time and kind of bend them up this way. Take my X-Acto and just cut this paper so that I can separate these from their friends so we can cut them. So I will join you back as soon as I've separated all of these. All right, so I have separated all of these and we are going to put them on here. So one of the things I was thinking of doing is, because I need these to be, you know, fairly tight against each other to make sure I'm not drifting out this way, you know, as I go to measure stuff. So I think what I'll do is take some of my painter's tape here and put it on this. Let's see, maybe this way. Just kind of tape it like that, just so I've got something it can stick to. it's about to stick to my desk, and I do realize that, so it's okay. I'll take it up gently. But I'm thinking this might help to line these up a little bit better. Or it may not work at all. You never know. Who knows? All right, so let me peel this carefully up off of here and turn it over after I get unstuck. All right, there. So now this should stay put and these should stay put. And as I put each one down, I can butt it up next to the other one. And hopefully it'll stay, right? So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this first angle here. So I've got this, and I want this angle to go this way. So I'll put my first one in here. I'll go ahead and cut that end off. And get this crap out of the way. All right, so first I'm going to make sure my angle's matching up, and it is. And I can draw on the top of this. Okay, and so what I want to do is I just want to put where my angle's going to end, I think would be the easiest than trying to do it, you know, all the way across. So let me bring this up this way. See if I can find my pencil mark. There it is. Okay, so I'm going to do this and I'm going to cut it right on that pencil mark. Boom. And then I'm going to sit it back up here and go, okay, does this fit? It fits. The first one though, I'm going to test in the actual tower unit because it's all well and good here, but I want to make sure it actually fits first, so I'm not, you know, working on a false pretenses, and it does. So we are good to go with this. Yay. All right, so sit this one up here like so. Okay, and this actually fits, so this will help us determine where the next ones are going to go anyway. Okay, so now we're going to take this, we're going to butt these right up against each other like we're putting them in the house, making sure that's straight, making sure that's straight. I'm going to go ahead and do the smallest part of the angle here, just because I'm going to be basing it off of this versus so much my template. But my template, I do need to kind of know where that corner thing is going to happen. Not an exact science. I will probably screw it up. All right, so this in here. There's my pencil mark. There it is. All right, and so I want this the shortest part of my angle. Okay, put this right here next to this. Make sure these are nice and close. And do I have enough to do one more? I don't. So I will continue working my way down this way. In theory, this will work. Here's hoping. And I will put it on fast forward while I do, and I will come right back to you. So now before I go any farther, because otherwise it looks like I'm going to come across here and do like a really super weird angle, I'm going to put these in the tower unit to see how they do. So let's get this out here. Okay, I'll lean it up. Hopefully you guys can see at least a little bit. And put that in there. It fits just fine. And you know what, actually, I'm going to go ahead and glue these in here is what I'm going to do, because I know if I do this, I'm going to end up getting it mixed up. So, okay, let's scoop this whatever I got going on here. I mean, it sounded like a good idea. Okay, so I'm going to put these on here because this is just driving me batshit. All right, there we go. It's a little better. Probably should have done that in the first place. Okay, we'll tack this over here. All right, so what I'm going to do with these is right in here, I'm going to go ahead and take the backing off of them. I've got my wood glue here. I'm going to go get my smaller bottle of it, and I am going to start laying these down in here. I'm not going to film it because you're not going to be able to see it. So what I'll do is I'll go ahead and do this first half. I'm going to stop before I do this one because I do want to have this one available to measure against for the rest of them instead of having to figure it out from scratch over here. So I'm going to do this one and the rest of these, get those glued in, make sure they're right. I have a feeling I'm going to end up having to trim them a little bit. That's fine. And then I will come back to you guys. So I'm back, and please excuse the sanding noises from the other room. Hopefully it's not too loud for you, but so I have the flooring in here so far. It's looking good. It is a lot more even than it was coming out on here, which I kind of figured would be the case because there's a lot of play in these things here. But unexpected thing I wasn't thinking about is you have your piece here, right? This is going to be our centerpiece to put in. Yeah, you ain't getting that thing in there. So what I had to do on some of these center ones is I've already got it cut to length. The length is correct. So I'm just taking the easy cutter and I'm doing a straight cut and making it into two and kind of alternating them, you know, kind of like you would on a wood floor, and hoping nobody notices that that's only in the center. So yeah, it is what it is. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut another one this length. Because this one should get us almost to the corner. This other one, you know, it'll be coming out this way, so it gets the rest of the corner, but then it's going to have to cut in pretty quickly to be the other corner. So we'll figure that part out when we get to it. So I'll bring this back over and I'm going to cut another piece here. Get this way. We'll put it this way, and basically just building on this 60-degree angle works the best. Okay, so we've got this one here. So I'm going to do the same to this. I'm going to cut this more on this side. I'll do it over this way so it's not as easy to see. I'm going to glue this one in. Oops, yeah, let's do this straight up and down though, Jesus. I'm going to get the paper off of this. The paper's coming off just as poorly as it did the last time. It's coming a little bit better, but oh, I can already see there's a piece of wood stuck to that. I don't want that. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and cut that like so. Get rid of that. That way I can fit this one in here, and then I can fit this one in here, and I can see where they're going to end up. Actually, that went almost to the very edge. It went to the corner on this side, and there's just a tiny bit on this side, so I'm offset a little bit, but not too bad. So, okay, that's what I will do for this. And then I will come back to you when it's time to figure out this one. So I've got that one in there now. you can see, and I don't know if you can even see into this corner. It meets exactly. This corner, it does not, right? Hopefully you can at least see a little bit of that. It's just about 1/8 of an inch. So what I'm going to do is, since I know this right here is following that and would normally meet it, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to reverse this cut now so that I can have this go the opposite direction, right? Because it's going to now start getting smaller from here on. Okay. So this actually needs to go like this. This one is going to need to do the same thing. So we're going to bring it this way, but we're going to leave about 1/8 of an inch of it in the opposite direction. Okay, so can you see that? So now I'm going to have to cut this because there ain't no way this is fitting in there. Since I went to that side on that one, I'll go to this side on this one. Actually, no, I will not. I will not. I'm going to put this down. I could just put it right here, it's fine. And I need to make the piece that's going to come after it so I don't screw myself up. So let's see. Go ahead and do that right there. Okay. So we're going to do like we've been doing before. And the template was helpful, but not as helpful as just keeping this 60-degree angle going in a straight line, basically. All right. Put this here, bring this the other direction, cut another one. There we go. We have a lot of longer pieces that we'll get to use for these pieces here, but not quite yet. All right, so now we've got this piece here, and we can safely do this one. Move this out of the way. All right, and so this one I cut on this side, so this one will cut on this side, so it's kind of following that, you know, every other, as if we had laid a bunch of shorter boards, right? There we go. All right, so I'm going to put this one, let's get that extra piece came off. I'm going to put this one in here. Am I going in the right direction? I am not. This direction. All right, Jesus. Okay, so I'm going to put this in here. I'm going to put this one in here. And it fits. And it gets us over past this corner here. So we're good. We are good. I just have to kind of clean this edge up because it didn't go quite straight. So, okay, I'm going to glue this one in, and then I'm going to keep going on this one, smaller, 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 smaller. Okay. And then I will, once I've cut a bunch of these, I'll come back to you for some of this part. I'll get some of the stuff off the back because this takes ages. So I'll see you guys back in a minute. So we are back, and I have cut all the pieces and I've pulled all the backing off of it, which is a big pain in the tail because the backing on this sucks. So what we're going to do is I'm going to start putting these in. I'll see if they fit. Even though this can kind of fit in there, it's not going to lay down. I know I've tried it, so I'm going to have to do probably at least 2 of these where I cut them somewhere. So on this one, the last time I cut it was on this side, so I'll cut this one on this side, and I'm just using my Gorilla Wood glue and putting a little bead on the back. And so I'll go into fast forward and I will put the rest of this flooring down. I have a sneaking suspicion that we're not going to end nice and clean and straight here, so I have left the backing on this last piece. So we'll see how we do. So I don't often like to be wrong, but in this case, I'm very happy to be wrong because it looks like this is going to end up fairly, you know, flat-ish. So I'm going to go ahead and take the paper off of this. And I think for the edge of this, since I definitely don't want to leave it this regular wood color, I think I will use my, actually let me do that now before I have a bunch of adhesive that's going to ruin my pen. I'm going to use this and I'm going to color it black because the this part down here has been painted black, so that way it'll kind of fit in better. So I'm just taking the adhesive paper and making sure it's not making contact with the edge, so I can color this real quick. Let's see, it's not actually getting the top of it, so, all right. Back to the paper. So here we are. So now we have wallpaper and we have flooring. And I know these shadows are terrible, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put these 1, 2, 3 blocks. Actually, I'm gonna put my jewelry block in here so I can get the back part of this. And then I'll put these in the front here, kind of sticking out, just so it's got something at least somewhat heavy on it to weigh those down. And then once this is dry, I will take this out and put it on the house, and I will take you guys out there and we'll see the final result. So here is how it looks out on the house. I'll move a little bit closer here. See if I can do that without casting too many shadows. All right, so there we go. Come around this way. There we go. In my craptastic lighting. So there we are. So that's how that looks. Floor is in. Still not quite sure what I'm gonna do with it, but you know, we got time to figure that one out. And so yeah, we probably should start working, I'll cross over one more time. Should probably start working in here on this back surface. Next, when we go into the house, it shouldn't take terribly long to do that because we already have basically the templates cut for these walls here that are what we need to cover that we can't see from here. But we can get the windows in that way and all that good stuff, which would be nice. Start getting some of those in also. And then that will leave us on this floor. I do need to do the flooring for it. I don't want to put you guys through that. But then we'll do the wall treatment on here to make it look like the plaster lath type stuff. Okay, so there we have it. Tower room is complete. It's relatively painless, so let's offer that. I'll see you guys in the next one. Keep me a mischief. Beannachd. Bye.